Okay, so you guys have been asking a lot, especially with the new gems that are coming out and like going Bone Shatter or other very interesting builds. You know, a lot of people have been saying, hey, can I blight? Can my build blight? Will I have problems? Will I be able to do things? Can this blight? Can that blight? You know, what's the overall consensus on like, can I do this? Is it beginner friendly? Can I go into it? Can I not go into it? And overall, like, you can take a blighted map and put some oils on it, even with gear as bad as this character, because like I showed in the video for the league starter, this character's gear is like really bad. Like it's a 4-link, sure, it's level 90 with a, you know, an okay passive tree going into the, you know, going into it, testing things, right? But like in terms of like blight, you don't need to have your atlas set up. You don't need anything. You just need currency to get a blighted map. If you have enough currency to buy a blighted map, you can then pick up amber oils for 1C a piece. You can get amber oils, very common from just doing Cassia inside of a map with Cassia's Pride. Essentially, you just take our map and we reduce the cost of the building on the map. So now when we run our map or we go to attempt our map and we like juice up our map to the teeth, which, you know, even if we did this, I'm looking for something a little bit harder, something just a little bit more. So like, let's just make this like a 6 modded map, right? So this one's 101 quant, 48 rarity, 49 pack size. We'll even val it to just make it even crazier. So like now we have this like really crazy map. And you say like, I want to do it. I want to run it. And you're doing things like you're worried about early game ring anoints, you're worried about early game damage, and all of that is like not something that you need to worry about at all, period. This character has no ring anoints, and if you understand the towers and how to do them, you won't need ring anoints. So a really good example is this lane right here is a scout lane, and it is immune to scout towers. This is immune to fire. This is immune to scout. This is immune to scout. And because we know this, we know that we can build around. So we're going to go to a choke point. So you can see right here, this is a nice little choke point, and we're going to build towers that are the opposite of the tower that, you know, we don't want to build a tower that's equal to the resistance of these lanes, right? So we'll build some arc towers. We'll build an empowering tower. We'll eventually get Cassie to build another tower. And essentially what we're going to do is we're going to build our arc towers to level 4. We're going to build our empowering towers to level 3. Empowering never goes above level 3 because we don't want it to weaken the enemies. We don't want it to increase the effect of players. We want it to work only in the towers. Seismic, we don't want it to do this or this. We want it to just work on the players, and we're going to start the event. Now, we notice we have a ton of the building material, and this is because we put amber oils on our maps. And you can see like going to level 2 is 75, going to level 3 is 125, or level 4 is 125. And we could really just kind of take advantage of the fact that our towers are cheap, and we can just build a lot, and I mean a lot of towers. Usually when I do this like playtest and showcase this and just how powerful Blight is and how you need so little, I would usually take off my gear, and I forgot to do that. So I'm just not in the middle of this now going to like rip my gear off. So instead we're just going to remove our attack skill from our bar and just kind of showcase things. Now, one of the things I want to point out is we juiced our map for this test, and we made it, you know, we alked it, we chiseled it, we valed it, and we pretty much juiced it to the teeth. And we did that because the mods on the map are going to affect the pump explosion. And because Ultimatum's back, we want to have the highest opportunity or the best chance at seeing the gloves out of Blight, because they're going to be worth something, as I mentioned in like the last video if you guys watched it. And we just want, you know, the maximum opportunity to get the best things that we can get. We also have a high chance of all of the Blight uniques. So there's the Blight armor, there's the Stampede boots, and there's just a bunch of really good things that come out of Blight. Now, as you can see, there are lanes turning on. You notice the lanes turn on when they turn yellow, and none of these lanes up until this lane right here is immune to lightning. So we want to pay attention when this lane comes on and in which direction this lane is, because we have to make sure that we build a tower for this lane so that we don't get dead by them being immune. Now, you can tell which lane goes live, and it was this one over here because we saw it light up. So we have to make sure that we build towers over here to just kind of stop these mobs from doing what they're about to do. And because, like I had mentioned, the amber oils, we can just essentially just build and build and build and build and not have to worry. One of the coolest things about Blight in general is the towers will run and the towers will work as long as we are within 2 screens of them, or like a screen and a half to be safe. So as long as you build your towers around your choke points near your pump and you stay relatively close to all of them, you shouldn't in theory have any problems, and you should be able to build to your heart's content, especially once you start killing the bosses, because as soon as we kill any of the Blight bosses, they'll give us a bunch of the building material to just kind of do whatever we want. Now we've built in the choke point here, we've built in the choke point over here, we've built in the choke point over here, and the only thing that we really need to worry about now is going to be the mobs that are going to be up here. So essentially we're going to want to just kind of start building really quick, and we just want to make our way back down over here and just kind of stay in the centralized area of all of these towers here, so that nothing turns off, nothing happens, nothing breaks, and everything just stays on and keeps attacking. Now, if you're going to say to me, like, why did the towers stop attacking? Why did they stop doing things? This was a problem that happened in Blight League, where the towers were causing an absurd amount of lag, and they just had to shut them off, and they just had to change things so people's games weren't breaking. And, you know, even like right now, Blight is still a little bit of a hodgepodge where, like, sometimes you'll like run a map and things will happen and your entire game will crash, and there is just nothing you can do about it. And we don't know why it does that. Now, this map, or this Blight map, was pretty simple, as nothing was immune really to scout towers until the end over here. So as long as you are aware of the types of resistances or the types of towers you need to build to combat these mobs that are immune, you'll be okay. You know, and right now we have these beyond monsters that are running around, and the towers really don't target the beyond monsters, so that kind of sucks. But otherwise, you know, we're pretty good. And you can see, like, even this mob, like right here, he's getting close, and we can just like use our body to like slow him down. The reason he's getting close is because the lack of towers built in this general area up here, because I've spent too much time running around dealing with other things. So if we just like build a little bit over here, we run away from this beyond mob, we just kind of like chill, we build a couple of quick towers. And right now, like, this is the thing that I want to mention. I'm spending so much time up here that these towers over here were off and these towers over here were off. So you have to make sure as you run up, run south, run left, one right, and do all this stuff, you're really, really focusing on making sure that you are staying within, usually it's 2 screens, but to be safe, 1.5 screens so nothing breaks. And like, that's the basic gist of it. Like, this is Blight in a nutshell. And when you guys say to me, like, can my build Blight? Should I Blight? Should I try Blighting? The only thing you really have to worry about is Blight encounters inside of a map until your character is strong. So we make, you know, we talk a lot about the Blight passives and, you know, what you should be doing and shouldn't be doing. And like, you really want to utilize Cassius Pride inside of a Blight encounter. And a Blight encounter is when you come across Cassia and a map, so that this node really does the work for you until your character gets strong. Now, inside of a Blighted map like you're doing right now, Cassius Pride doesn't take effect because we have oils, and the oils are infinitely stronger than Cassius Pride, and you don't have to worry about things. Now, the other thing too is if you're doing a Blighted map and you're getting overrun and Cassius Pride just isn't working and there's nothing you can do about it, if you take off immune response, you won't have as many issues because not as many mobs will be spawning fast and running through your towers. So if you do no damage and you need Cassius Pride, and Cassius Pride isn't cutting it because of like the map layout you're doing, or one lane, or juice mobs, or X, Y, and Z, take off immune response. As your character gets stronger, you can put immune response on. As your character gets stronger, you remove Cassius Pride. And overall, you really like just get really, really, really strong, like in Blighted maps because of oils. And for those of you who have never Blighted before and you're worried about loot, or how do I get loot, or how good is Blight, I'm going to put my filter on semi-strict and just kind of show you. There's a bunch of scours, alterations, glass blowers, baubles. There's a 6-link there. There's a scarab. There's this. There's all kinds of jewelry. There's all kinds of orbs that you can get. And essentially pretty much what you want to be doing is just picking up everything and just missing and moving anything. You know, you have to make sure that like if you're going to Blight, especially like early in the league, you're willing to pick up a lot of the garbage and just be able to move it and understand. Now, if you don't understand trading or you don't understand moving things, or you have a problem like that, you know, you guys can let me know either in Twitch and Discord, on YouTube, and like we can talk about like how to move things or how to just overall like get rid of a lot of the smaller currencies that you have so that you guys can learn. Now, one of the other things too is like I will be streaming this on League Start. You guys will see me on League Start running Blights and doing different things, and you guys can be able to really get a good idea of like how I'm moving things and what I'm doing inside of a League Start scenario. Unfortunately, these Beyond mobs decided that while we're trying to talk about things and showcase stuff to people, that they were just going to show up and just kind of give us a hard time. So we're just going to give this guy the slap a lap of ding dongs and just continue moving on. Now, you guys see right away in this map, like we've gotten like, you know, GCPs, we've gotten oils, we've seen a bunch of different jewelry, and on a League Start scenario, like all of this jewelry is massive. Identifying all of this jewelry is huge. You know, there's a synthesized item, and you're talking about, we did a tier 16 map just now, a tier 16 Blighted map that was really juiced, like heavily juiced, with no ring anoints, never attacking once. And you know, we're playing the Bone Shatter build with the gear. Like you see my character just fell over there. Like shit sucks, right? Like I died. And you know, you could do the same. It doesn't matter what build you play or how you're going to do it. As long as you understand the resistance types of the mobs and what towers to build and not build, like you're going to be just fine. Just build towers. Now, I know, you know, you guys have heard me mention about like the Blight Uniques earlier. That mob sucks. I know you guys heard me mention about like the Blight Unique mob or Blight Uniques earlier. And if you get one of those early, it's a lot of like, you're going to make a good chunk of currency. Now, I know the next major question that I've gotten from people is like, hey, what about my rings? How should I anoint my rings? What's the play? Who's it's and what's it's? I will say I won't do expensive ring anoints on bad rings. So like I won't put an expensive ring anoint on this or this. I will really encourage you guys to wait until you get better ring anoints, simply due to the fact that crimson oils sell really well. Black oils, opalescent oils, they all sell really well. And if you're not doing Blight Ravaged, you really don't need to worry too much about like your ring anoints. They will help in maps, yes, but like make the currency that you need instead and sell the crap so that you guys can get the upgrades that you need. So if you ask me like, hey, like should I upgrade my oils? You should upgrade your oils or all of your oils all the way and just keep upgrading them all the way until you have like crimson. I wouldn't upgrade past crimson because crimson's a really good spot to start selling oils. And I would keep a handful of amber oils, maybe 20, 30, 40 amber oils, but everything else should just get updated all the way to crimson. Now, Awakened POE tree is currently broken because, you know, we're in between the leagues, but usually on League Start, these sell for 2 to 3 C a piece. These are about 3 C a piece. These are like 6 to 10 C a piece, and these are like upwards to 20 or 30. The last couple of leagues, gold oils and silver oils have spiked out of control because of the way the meta has shifted. And now with all the new gems coming out and builds changing, anoints are going to be all over the place. So I really can't like speculate. I assume though, based upon the last 2 leagues, that gold oils will be in high demands again, especially with like all of the changes to mana and stuff. I'm sure people are going to want to be anointing their charismas or their extra curses. So you really want to get those oils. Now, one thing I'll say is double check and triple check the price of your oils. You don't want to upgrade your oils prematurely. You want to make sure you understand the price of gold, the price of silver. Do I have bulk? Do I not have bulk? I would say anything considerable in bulk is like 20 oils or more, 10 oils or more if you're talking about silver, maybe 5. And then if you want to sell the other oils, all of these smaller oils will sell for about 1 C a piece if you want to take 1 C trades. Usually on League Start, day 1, day 2, day 3, 1 C trades are okay, but eventually you want to like really move up to this 2, 3, 4, 5 C trades. Now, I personally would rather do Blight and start Blight and just do a couple of maps and make a bunch of small 1 C, 2 C trades and do it this way instead of doing Chaos Recipe. Now, one of the things that I know that you guys don't know, or, you know, I've heard a lot in the comments and on Discord and like Twitch, is like, what do I do with all this crap and all this jewelry and all this stuff that you're finding on the floor? Like, shouldn't I just do chaos recipe? And while chaos recipe I think is really, really good, I can pick up all of this crap, not even look at it, and then I can pick a tab. Do I have any empty tabs? I don't think I have any empty tabs in standard. We're just gonna use this one temporarily, and I can throw all of this crap into this tab right here, make this tab public, and then set a price on it. So if I wanted 5C, I can make this tab 5C and just throw this in. Now, if I get chain messaged for this, I'm gonna like reevaluate and reprice this. If I get chain message for this, I'm gonna do the same thing. And that's pretty much what a dump tab is and what a dump tab does. So like while you're doing these blighted maps, pick up this random crap and throw it in a tab, toss an arbitrary number on the tab, and let it sit. If none of these gems or amulets moved at 5C for like 3 or 4 hours while I'm playing, lower that tab to 4C to 3C, and then as you get better stuff and start learning to identify the items themselves better, you can adjust the prices on that tab to, you know, match and like make a 1 divine tab, a 50C tab, a 30C tab, a 10C tab, a 20C tab, and just identify things, look at them, and throw them in a respective tab where you think they belong. Now, I know we talked about ring anoints and not needing them, but if you do find rings that you want to anoint and you are convinced that that is the ring for you and you're not going to be changing that ring anytime soon, you take that ring, you slam on this Chilling Towers special where Chilling Towers freeze enemies. This is still really strong. Probably one of the best ring anoints that you can do unless it gets secretly nerfed and this, you know, entire explanation becomes useless. Like, that's like really bad then. And then, you know, you just kind of feel really sad because it got nerfed. And then the other one that I would really do and really consider, and I've talked about this one a lot, is I still am a huge fan of the Meteor Tower Burning Ground. I think the Meteor Tower Burning Ground is really good for the non-meteor immune lanes. I think it's really good for the proximity shield mobs. And while it doesn't do as much as it used to do, and it has been slightly changed, I still think it's very good. I haven't really found another ring anoint that I like or that can compensate as well as this. If things change or the ring anoints get nerfed or blight gets changed or anything happens or anything breaks, you know, I will let you guys know as soon as I find out. And this is like one of those moments where, like, if you're in the Discord or watching YouTube videos, having all the notifications on really kind of like helps you guys out. Now, I like Blight. I know Blight well. I like sharing this information about Blight. And if you guys, you know, if it was helpful, you know, and you liked it, you let me know. If there's anything else in terms of Blight or other things that you guys want to talk about, don't hesitate to let me know. You guys can ping me in the Discord. You can ping me on any YouTube video, and just overall, that's it, man. That's Blight and how it works. I hope that was helpful. For now, friends, I'm going to finish up here, and then I'll see you guys in the next one.